Top 10 dinosaur name meanings. Number 10, Animantarchs, which means living citadel. This is a ankylosaur, rather a small one actually, but is quite spiky and lives up to its name. Number 9, Charodontosaurus. We've seen this before. This is shark-toothed lizard. It's hard to complain with a name like that. A very large theropod, a Charodontosauroid. This is where we get the name from that, and an apex predator. Number 8, Gojirasaurus, which means Godzilla lizard. Goji is the actual Japanese name for Godzilla. Godzilla was sort of the Americanized or Englishized name. This was a coleophysoid, about 1.8 meters. So bigger than a human, but not nearly as big as you'd think for such a fearsome sounding name. Number 7, Teratophonius, which means monstrous murder. You couldn't just stay with monster or murderer, just monstrous murder. This was a tyrannosaurid, a little bit longer, about 1.8 meters, and so pretty typical looking tyrannosaurid, other than its terrifying name. Number 6, we've seen this before as well, Citipatri, which means Lord of the Funeral Pyre. This is a rather large oviraptid, and here we have here. And it was one of the oviraptids that was found nesting over its own egg, showing that it was actually a pretty good mother. Number 5, we have Lythoronax, which means Gore King. This is another tyrannosauroid, about 5 meters long, and pretty typical looking tyrannosaurid. Number 4, Ekrixanotosaurus, which means explosion-born lizard. This was an abelosaurid, so related to Carnotaurus, pretty large here, and looks sort of like Carnotaurus with those small little forearms, though lacking the horns that Carnotaurus sports. Number 3, speaking of Carnotaurus, we have Carnotaurus, which means meat-eating bull. This is another abelosaurid, sort of the archetypical one. Yes, tiny, tiny forearms and terrifying horns, like a bull that eats well meat. Number 2, Aristosuchus, which can be translated as bravest crocodile. And it is not actually a crocodile, it is a compsognathid, so a rather small, earlier dinosaur, but there we have it. The bravest of crocodiles that aren't actually crocodiles. Before we get to number 1, some honorable mentions. We have Cryolophosaurus, Tyrannotitan, Tyrannosaurus, the big man himself, and Eotyrannus. Cryolophosaurus means frozen crested lizard, Tyrannotitan, tyrant giant, Tyrannosaurus, tyrant lizard, and Eotyrannus, dawn tyrant. So 3 of these 4 are tyrannosaurids, and Cryolophosaurus is the odd dinosaur out, and it's in sort of undetermined theropod. It's hard to detect its lineage. So here's Cryolophosaurus, its crest being its most distinguishing feature. Tyrannotitan looks a pretty normal tyrannosaurid. Tyrannosaurus, you'll recognize that shape anywhere. And then an early tyrannosaurid, the dawn tyrant, which is much smaller and lighter build. We've made it to number 1, and that is Sauroniops, which means Eye of Sauron. Yes, this is taken from the great enemy from Lord of the Rings, Sauron. This dinosaur was a Carcharodontosaurid, and it was actually only known from a single bone from above the eye, given that's why it was given this name. So any of the sort of reconstruction of the theropod shape is just speculation. In any case, it is certainly the coolest dinosaur name meaning of them all.